Well, the Sharks Spreadsheet. Post Rage of the Abyss. We have a lot going on here. This combo spreadsheet also has replays, which you can watch on Dueling Book, and a bunch of deck lists. The first section is just 1-card combos, and the second one is 2-card combos. I got some more going on in this spreadsheet, but we'll talk about that later. So there's been a lot of Yuki-tubers out there who've gotten some things wrong about sharks. What did they get wrong? What did they miss? Let's talk about it. The Rage of the Abyss support. Surfacing Big Jaws. So this fish allows you to be used for the Xyz summon of a water monster, and it can be treated as a level 3 or 5 monster, just like Lantern Shark and Buzzsaw Shark. And you can use each of the following effects of Surfacing Big Jaws once per turn during the main phase. If a spell was activated this turn, you can special summon this card from your hand. Also, you cannot special summon from the extra deck for the rest of the turn except Xyz monsters. If this card is normal or special summon, you can add one fish shark monster from your deck to your hand. So one thing people got wrong is Big Jaws doesn't mean you should run less Buzzsaw Shark. 1, Big Jaws can special summon itself, and 2, it makes Buzzsaw an even stronger normal summon. If there's one card that uses up the normal summon that you don't need anymore, it's Leaf Fish. Let's say the opponent has a Nibiru. Buzzsaw Shark summons Surfacing Big Jaws from the deck. You then Xyz summon into Bahamut Shark with both of those fish. Summon Toad by detaching Big Jaws. Now if the opponent activates Nibiru, you can activate Toad in response. Toad is sent to the graveyard, destroys and steals the Nibiru, and in the graveyard you activate the effect of Toad. Add Big Jaws to the hand. Then you need to rank into Fortress. We need a spell to activate to get Big Jaws on the field. Fortress detaches 2 materials. We'll add Unveil and the full armored Xyz trap card. Activate Unveil by targeting the Fortress. Now we can special summon Big Jaws. Yes, an interesting detail about Big Jaws is that it also works if your opponent activates a spell. Now we use Big Jaws to add Drake Shark to the hand. And then you can continue doing your combo from here. So we can see that in the past, if our Buzzsaw Shark summoned a fish from the deck and then we went into Bahamut Toad and we got Nib, there was really nothing good that we could summon from the deck with Buzzsaw that we could add to our hand with Toad, but now we have Big Jaws. So another thing people got wrong, or they missed, if you normal summon it, it does not Xyz lock, so other non-Xyz water decks can still use Big Jaws. If we look at a replay with Big Jaws here, we normal summon the Big Jaws, add Abyss Shark, activate Abyss Shark. Abyss Shark adds Drake Shark to the hand, and like a Poplar, we can special summon it. With that Drake Shark and Surfacing Jaws, we can go into Bahamut, detach material, summon Toad. So you can use Big Jaws to summon an Omni Negate and 2 water bodies for link summoning. If you're playing Goatee, you can link into Abyss Keeper to summon a Goatee from the hand. At the moment, it's still another mid starter for Goatee because it doesn't combo into Aryan Post by itself, nor does it 2-card combo with Abyss Shark into Aryan Post like Mermaid Shark or Tuna does. But if we ever get new shark cards like a Shark Tuner that allow you to summon Aryan Post much more easily, then we're cooking, so keep an eye out for that. 7 Tachyon. This card is basically a more consistent small world for Xyz decks. You trade 2 cards for 1. You activate Tachyon, reveal a number 101 to number 107 Baryon monster, then add a monster with the same type and or attribute and a level equal to its rank from your deck to your hand. Sharks is one of the few Xyz decks that are not hurt by running a Baryon in their extra deck. We were already running one anyway. So if we reveal a number 101 Silent Honor Arc, then we can add a level 4 Aqua or a level 4 Water to our hand like Big Jaws. Then place 1 card from your hand on top of the deck. After this card resolves, you're locked into summoning Xyz from the extra deck. Because we activated a spell, we can special summon Big Jaws. Big Jaws adds Abyss Shark to the hand. And then Abyss Shark special summons, add Buzzsaw Shark to the hand. We normal summon the Buzzsaw. Now here we can go into a combo that doesn't play into Nib, but we're going to see what you can do if you do play into Nib. So Bahamut Shark summons Virtue Dragon, Virtue Dragon adds Virtue Stream to the hand, then we're going to rank up that Bahamut into Armored Fortress. Armored Fortress adds Unveil Mail as well as an Armored Trap card to the hand. We'll rank up Armored Fortress into full Armored Crystal Zero, then into Dark Knight. Dark Knight targets the Xyz Remora in the graveyard and adds it to the hand. Then we Xyz summon into Kragan. Remora detaches the Big Jaws and a material from Dark Knight to special summon Big Jaws and Buzzsaw from the graveyard. Then we're going to Xyz summon into our second Bahamut Shark, activate Levirtue, detach material from our Bahamut and add Remora to the hand. We'll discard the Armored Trap to special summon Utopic Ray Lancer and then detach 2 materials to special summon our Remora. Remora and Big Jaws into a Dweller, and Bahamut Shark will summon our Toad. So this is 7 disruptions of just Tachyon. Let's take a look at what 7 Tachyon has done to the core of Sharks. Tachyon is worth the cost to activate it because it turns Sharks into an actual 1-card combo deck. 7th Ascension can search 7 Tachyon, so this is also a 1-card combo. With 6/7 spells, 3 Buzzsaw Shark, and 3 Big Jaws, we now have 12 1-card combos, which alone give you an 85% consistency. If we add our other extenders and our armored spells, we have a 20-card engine with 87% consistency. We can add a few more engine to try to bring the consistency to 90%, but look at all the space we now have for non-engine. We have 15 ways to search for Remora. You can get away with only having 1. We don't need starters like Leaffish or Tuna anymore. Leaffish was always a subpar starter that didn't do enough for a card that uses the normal summon. Tuna was too weak to Ash, but because it can search Buzzsaw Shark or Big Jaws, I can understand why someone might play Tuna in a meta where Ash isn't very common. Let's talk about Drake Shark. If this card is added to your hand except by drawing it, you can special summon it. It's like a Poplar. This card can be treated as 2 materials for the Xyz summon of a water monster that uses 3 or more materials. That's the first card in the game that allows you to do that, and you can use each of the previous effects of Drake Shark once per turn. A Drake Shark Xyz monster that has this card as material gains this effect. Once per turn, you can detach 2 materials from this card, then target 1 spell trap on the field, attach it to this card as material. What people may have missed is that Drake Shark is a soft once per turn, so you can rank into C32, which is also a Shark Drake monster, so it too will gain the effect of Drake Shark to attach another back row card as material. One YouTuber said you wouldn't use Drake Shark to summon number 32 because you would instead summon Bahamut Toad. This is a false dichotomy. So Buzzsaw Shark summons Drake Shark. Normally you would use it to summon Xyz Remora, but we already have Xyz Remora in the hand. So we're going to special summon Bahamut Shark, detach Drake Shark, summon Toad, go into Fortress, detach 2 materials, add Unveil, and full armored Xyz. Then go into Dark Knight, detach 2 materials from Dark Knight, activate Remora, summon Drake Shark and Buzzsaw from the graveyard, then go into another Bahamut Shark with Drake Shark and our Remora. Detach 1 material, and summon Levirtue Dragon. Activate Levirtue on summon to add Virtue Stream, and then Levirtue Dragon activates its effect, detach 1 material from an Xyz, add a fish to the hand, you can add Drake Shark. And if Drake Shark is added to the hand from the graveyard, you can special summon it. And then using Drake Shark as 2 materials, plus the Buzzsaw, you can summon number 32. You can summon Bahamut Shark, and you can summon number 32 with Drake Shark in 1 turn. You can have your Drake and eat it too. So Armored Shark is a level 3 fish, and it's always treated as an armored Xyz card. So now we have 4. We have Unveil, we have the Armored Spell and Trap, and now we have Armored Shark. You can send 1 Water Xyz monster from your extra deck to the graveyard, then target 1 fish in your graveyard with a level equal to the sent monster's rank. So you can send a rank 4 to the graveyard, target a level 4 fish in the graveyard, and then special summon that fish. During your opponent's turn, if this card is in your graveyard, you can target 1 Water Xyz you control, equip this card to it as an equip spell that gives it 500 attack. So this second effect allows you to loop it. Every time it's in the graveyard, you can equip it, allowing you to trigger Dark Knight on either player's turn because it is a quick effect. Seems more like a grind card. I agree, it is a grind card. This first effect doesn't have a lot of use cases because there's not a lot of cards we can send to the graveyard that can actually do something when it's sent to the graveyard. However, if there's a use case for sending an Xyz to the graveyard, we'll have to come back to that. For now, we'll show some combos involving Armored Shark to see what we can do with it. Fortress adds the Armored Shark and Unveil Male. We activate the spell, special summon Big Jaws. Big Jaws adds Abyss Shark. Then we're going to rank up Fortress into Crystal 0, and then Dark Knight. Dark Knight will add Harpooner to the hand, then we're going to special summon Abyss Shark to add Fishborg Harpooner. We're going to need some space to make room for Xyz Remora, so we'll go into Stealth Kraken, and then we'll detach 2 materials to summon our Buzzsaw and Big Jaws. We'll Xyz summon into Bahamut Shark, and then reveal our Armored Shark to special summon our Fishborg. So now we can summon Dweller, and then activate Bahamut Shark to summon Levirtue Dragon and add the Virtue Stream Trap card to our hand. On the opponent's turn, we can activate the effect of Armored Shark in the graveyard to equip to one of our Xyz, increasing its attack by 500 and also allowing us to trigger Dark Knight to suck up a monster. We're going to do the same combo, but this time, what if Buzzsaw Shark summoned Drake Shark from the deck instead of Xyz Remora? So we activate our Abyss Shark, add Harpooner, and then, because we have Drake Shark in the graveyard instead of Xyz Remora, Fishborg Harpooner will special summon our Armored Shark, and Armored Shark will send a rank 4 to the graveyard to special summon Drake Shark. Then we can Xyz summon into our number 32 with Drake Shark and our Abyss Shark, and then Levirtue Dragon with our Big Jaws and Armored Shark. Just like Buzzsaw Shark, Big Jaws can be used for rank 3 and rank 5 Xyz. Levirtue will detach 1 material to add Buzzsaw to our hand, and then we're going to special summon our Dark Knight to add Unveil back to the hand, and then summon our C32 by discarding Unveil. Does this mean Armored Shark is worth it? I think that will be up to you to determine. Armored Shark can enable big combos that end on Dweller and other different end boards that you may not do with just Remora alone. So it will depend on what you believe is the strongest end board for your needs. We'll be updating the combo sheet to add more Armored Shark combos in the future, so we have more data to compare. Number 32, Shark Drake Leviathan. So a rank 5 Sea Serpent and needs 4 level 5 monsters, but you can also Xyz summon this card by discarding 1 spell using 1 rank 4 Shark Drake Xyz monster you control. Transfer its materials to this card. Once per turn, you can detach 1 material from this card and target 1 effect monster your opponent controls, negate its effects, and if you do, change its attack to 0. Now some people have called this an imperm on legs. I would not call this an imperm. Just like Ice Barrier, the negation is permanent, and it also turns their attack and defense to 0 permanently. This is Ice Barrier on legs. This card can make a second attack during each battle phase. Also, if it attacks a defense position monster, inflict piercing battle damage to your opponent. So yes, this is an OTK machine. More often than not, if you are making Shark Drake Leviathan on the same turn outside of Revive Splash, you are using Abyss Shark. You can special summon this monster. You cannot special summon monsters for the rest of this turn except water monsters. Also, the next battle damage your opponent takes this turn from a battle involving your number monster and another monster is doubled. Dealing double damage with Shark Drake Leviathan is lethal. Mourning another Shark Drake looks nice. Yes, it is a beautiful card. This one is a fusion of Shark Drake Vice and number 17 Leviathan. Are we moving on to Levirtue Dragon? Screenshot? Yes, Levirtue Dragon, the final boss of Virtue Signaling. One YouTuber thinks you're not summoning Levirtue Dragon because it's a rank 3 in a deck full of level 4 fishes. But if you play sharks, then you'd know that's a very strange thing to say. Bahamut Shark can summon rank 3 or lower water Xyz for free, right? We don't need to hard summon Levirtue Dragon, we can just use Bahamut Shark. Once per turn, detach 1 material from this card, special summon 1 rank 3 or lower water Xyz from your extra deck. This card cannot attack for the rest of the turn. You summon Levirtue Dragon, and on summon you can activate its effect to add Virtue Stream from your deck to your hand. Virtue Stream is the new trap card. We'll get back to that. Then, during this turn, Levirtue Dragon has 2 effects, but you can only activate 1 of them, and only once per turn. So you can detach 1 material from a monster you control, then add 1 fish, sea serpent, or aqua monster from your graveyard to your hand, except Levirtue Dragon. So we've already seen that in a previous replay. You detach 1 fish, add it to your hand. If you add Drake Shark, then you can special summon Drake Shark. If you add Big Jaws, then you can rank into Fortress, use Fortress to search a spell, special summon Big Jaws. So it's a very useful tool. Now this second effect, it targets 2 Xyz monsters on the field, detach 1 material from one of them, and attach it to the other as material. So you can detach materials from Fortress, unbricking it, and add it to Levirtue Dragon. You can also move materials from anywhere on the field. It can be even your opponent's Xyz, take materials from them and add it to you, or take material from you and add it to them. Not sure why you would do that one, but you can do that. There are some combos in which you summon Nash Knight and then you have to detach a material from it in order to summon Remora. And then you can use Virtue Dragon to give the material back to Nash Knight. You can summon Levirtue Dragon with Bahamut Shark, and we can do some fun things. It can add 2 things to your hand, so it's a +2, but is it worth it over summoning Toad? The good news is our combos are big enough to summon both. In almost all cases, you'll want to summon Toad first to protect yourself from disruptions, and Levirtue Dragon will be the last thing you summon at the end of your combo. We can look at the Google sheet here. These are Buzzsaw Shark 1-card combos and Big Jaws. If we look at the ones that give us protection from Nibiru, they only give us 2 disruptions, which is summoning Bahamut Shark to summon Toad, and then go into Dark Knight with the Bahamut Shark. But if you play the non-safe Nibiru combos, they all summon 6 disruptions, because they all start with Levirtue Dragon instead of Toad. So sometimes you're going to have to weigh those options. Do you want more disruptions, or do you want Toad? In OCG, you don't have a choice. You don't have a Toad, you gotta summon Levirtue Dragon. So why is Levirtue Dragon worth the summon over a second Toad? On the summon of Levirtue Dragon, you can add the trap card Virtue Stream, aka Swordfish Blackout. Just like Sword Soul Blackout, this trap card lets you target and destroy one of your own monsters to non-target destroy 2 of your opponent's monsters, spells, or traps. We needed more outs to back row deck, so this is a power boost. This also gives us a second searchable trap card, so we are more resistant to Dark Ruler No More and other board breakers. You can also banish Virtue Stream trap card to target a face-up monster on the field, your own monsters or your opponent's, and activate the following effect depending on the attribute of that monster. If it's a non-water monster, it becomes water. This has synergy with Kragen's Spawn and also things like Gozen Match and the Legendary Ocean. If you target a water monster with this effect, the next time that monster is destroyed, it is not destroyed. This can be useful to protect your own monsters from card destruction. You can send it to the graveyard as a cost to activate Forbidden Droplet to chain Virtue Stream to its own effect, and prevent Virtue Stream from destroying your own monster. Or you can turn your opponent's monsters into water with Stealth Kragen and use Virtue Stream to prevent your opponent from popping the baby. So overall, Levirtue and Virtue Stream offer a lot of flexibility for both interacting with your opponent and making your boards more resistant to disruptions. So usually Levirtue Dragon is summoned at the end of the turn, so you want to summon your Xyz, then activate the effect of Bahamut Shark to summon your last Xyz with Levirtue Dragon. Search Virtue Stream, and then set Virtue Stream and any other cards you need to set. Here we're going to go into URL Utopic Grey Lancer, discarding the trap card. And then we're going to activate the spell and target our Dweller in defense position. So now the opponent can't destroy it in battle, we'll activate the effect and draw phase. Kragen pops 1, Virtue Stream pops 2, then we summon Kragen Spawn or banish the Virtue Stream from the graveyard, turn a monster into water, then we pop a 4th monster. We can pop 5 monsters if the opponent doesn't read Kragen Spawn and destroys it in battle. Aqua Jet Surface. This combines 2 anime spell effects nobody asked for into one to make a spell that special summons a level 4 or lower fish, sea serpent, or aqua monster from your hand or graveyard. And if your opponent controls an attack position monster, you can banish this card from the graveyard to increase the attack of one of your monsters by 1,000. This spell can help you trigger Big Jaws, and it can also give you a higher chance of doing OTKs. But overall, it's not any better than White Mirror. Both spells have the same flaws. It's preferable that extenders help you play through disruptions, not something that only helps you if you're already gaming. In this replay, Jet Surface does nothing if your Buzzsaw gets negated, and there are other spells that do, like Tachyon, 7th Ascension, and Foolish Goods, which can all search for your sharks. So Aqua Jet Surface doesn't seem to have a strong use case that I can think of in sharks, but if you found a use case in another water deck, let us know in the comments. Reincarnate Unveil, another armored Xyz card. An Xyz monster equipped with this card gains these effects, cannot be destroyed by a battle, and once per turn if this card battled this turn, you can return 1 equipped card equipped to this card to the hand, then immediately after this effect resolves, Xyz summon 1 water Xyz monster. So this effect can be used with number 32 Shark Drake. You go into the battle phase, attack a few times with Shark Drake. When Shark Drake destroys an opponent's monster by battle, you can detach 1 material from Shark Drake and special summon that destroyed monster back to the field, and it loses 1,000 attack. And if it does, you can make a second attack during that battle phase. Then after you are done attacking that second time, you can activate the effect of Unveil Mail to return one of your equipped cards back to the hand, and then special summon, and because it's a then effect, you can then discard that same spell and special summon number C32, Shark Drake Leviathan. We then activate the effect of Shark Drake Leviathan, detach 1 material to negate the effect of the opponent's monster and turn its attack to 0, and go into the battle and attack a second time. Reincarnate Unveil Mail makes for a good discard for 32 to rank into C32, because this spell can also bring itself back to the field at the end phase. You can also use this spell to exi summon into Utopic Ray Lancer, so at the end phase, you can equip this card to a level 4 or lower monster on the field you don't really need anymore, like Levirtue Dragon or Bahamut Shark, or a monster you don't want to be destroyed by a battle like Dweller. And just like other armored cards, this spell competes for space in your main deck. You don't really need all 4 of the armored cards, so you'll have to make a choice based on what you want your deck to do. On the spreadsheet, we can see having different armored cards in your deck opens up different possible end boards. We're still actively updating the spreadsheet for all kinds of combos, so hopefully this tool will help you decide how you want to play your shark deck. Xyz Poseidon Splash. On first read, this looks like a good card. You can declare an attribute and destroy monsters on either side of the field with that attribute that are not equipped with an equipped spell. So it's like a torrential tribute with more control over when you activate it and what you destroy. But it not only needs an Xyz on the field, but only an Xyz with an Xyz as material. So it's very restrictive, so that's one reason why almost no one is playing it right now. The second effect lets you revive a monster from the graveyard, but you can't activate it on the same turn you activated the first effect, because you can only use one Xyz Poseidon Splash effect per turn. So you can't use it to blow up your own Stealth Dragon, to revive on that same turn to pop more cards. There's also not much impactful cards to revive. Xyz monsters usually need materials to use their effects, and some need to be properly summoned so you can't revive them from the graveyard, and outside of Stealth Dragon and Dark Knight, there's not a lot happening. On top of all these limitations, it's not searchable with extra deck monsters. You can get in the graveyard by discarding it with Utopic Ray Lancer, but I prefer the old Xyz Splash Trap card. If this card sees use at all, it will likely be in a deck with Foolish Burial Goods. Xyz Poseidon Splash turns Foolish Goods into 3 copies of Monster Reborn. The artwork on the trap card could be hinting at a number 73 Abyss Splash retrain that works with this card, so my expectations are high. So that's it for Sharks today. We're still actively updating the spreadsheet and we're learning new things every day, so feel free to participate by leaving a comment on the spreadsheet with your Dueling Book replay or head to the Shark Discord and send me a message.